people who like to say that anti-whiteism isn't in media. They don't like to, they claim that, oh no, there is no anti-whiteism in media, except it is 100% anti-white, 100%. Came across this little ditty here. Kate actually sent me this one. And this Carrie account says, best friends, and a laughing face. Let's see what this one is all about. Let's see if this is anti-white or not.
Hi, you guys must be new to town, right?
New to town, but not new to the country.
So did you hear that right off the bat? The immediate, the assumption there that's being portrayed is that the white people are believed to be heretical on the surface because they're white. So the non-white person is forced to defend herself with every confrontation. New to the area, but not to the country. Can you tell I don't have an accent? It gets much worse.
Oh, that's wonderful. So do we.
And you can see the Asian parents here are mature. They appear to be educated with their demeanor. And the white people, very goofy. This is anti-whiteism. Gets worse.
Are you Chinese?
Yes. Ah, great. We just wondered if you would mind if your daughter played with our daughter.
Why our daughter? We just thought Audrey might like to meet her. Audrey, say hi.
So the very goofy white parents here have adopted an Asian child, and they saw another Asian child. Now, isn't this something the anti-whites are revealing here? That different groups of people want to be among their own kind. And that's a good thing. The white parents that they're portraying here are taking the daughter out to go be among other Asian children. And that's a good thing. We see this in anti-white material, news, entertainment, education all the time. The only time that's not considered to be a moral and a good thing is when white people want to be among our own. When we want to be among our own, that is an example of the deep evil, they say, that is in the white race. But when other groups want to be among their own, well, that is moral, it's defensible, it's justifiable, it makes perfect sense. And anti-whites, as we've seen our whole life, can do these contradictory positions side by side in their media. They can do them side by side. There is no contradiction because in both cases, you end up at an anti-white outcome, white people, especially my cuck brothers and sisters out there. No contradiction here. In both cases, they end up at an anti-white outcome. If you would pop your heads out of your asses, you'd be able to see that's the case. They're not hypocrites. So here you have the little Asian girls are going to play together now on the playground. Gets worse. And there's the music to set the tone for what's happening. That's another thing when I got to mention, when you are watching any anti-white entertainment, and I know that the vast majority of us don't, but if you're still coming off of it, pay attention to the music, the mood that is set with the music, with the different groups of people, white, non-white, etc. Pay attention because that is also signaling what the anti-whites want you to think about the different groups of people. So you're feeling like as a white person, like I'm seeing this, and the two little girls, they can see themselves, their own biospirit reflecting back at them. They can see that same instinct inside of them, and they're smiling. I automatically, as a white person, feel like that's wonderful. I feel great for the two little girls. Guess why, for example, or what's the reason that as I look at this, I feel really good for these two little girls because my subconscious mind can't know that this is fake. I have to consciously override my subconscious mind, repeating over and over that this is fiction. These are two actresses. I'm having a feeling as though these are two little girls that have found each other. Now they can identify, and as though this is real. That's where the seat of psychological control resides in the human animal, is the inability of the subconscious mind to discern fiction from reality. Let us proceed. It gets worse.
You want to play slide?
You want to play slide? Sure. All right. So it's a wonderful moment. The very goofy white father, and I'm sure, if this were like a series or from a show, we would find out that he thinks he can cook at the grill, but he really can't cook it. There was really a moron at the grill, and he thinks he knows how to work, but he really can't work. He really doesn't know how to do, and really he can't do anything well. And so the goofy white woman is having to run around behind him to fix everything that the goofy white dad screws up. And then, of course, they would have the Asian daughter having some wisdom from the universe, and she'll be setting her parents straight, her dumb white parents straight all the time. We all know this is the case. So let's continue. We're all happy. Whoa, white little boy shows up. What do you think the white little boy says? This is such a perfect encapsulation of anti-white media, all media in the West. Little white boy shows up, and of course he's light featured. Little white boy shows up, light featured white boy. So we're really talking about personification of evil. Slides off limits, he says to the two Asian little girls. Gets worse. And tell me, as you see this little white boy show up and he says this, you have to tell yourself that he's an actor, that this is a script he's reciting. Actively telling yourself that, because if you don't, I want you to tell me what you actually feel. It's not good. This is the power of the subconscious mind and entertainment media. Slides off limits.
Slides off limits to ching chongs.
Slide is off limits, he says, to ching chongs, which obviously is supposed to be a derogatory statement for the two Asian children, a slander for the Asian children. You don't feel good about him. If you said you did, you're lying. I am completely honest with myself about what's going on in the world, what's happening to us, how anti-whiteism, psychological warfare operates. I feel like he's an ass. I feel like that's one bad kid that needs to be corrected. That's one awful, mean kid. That's what's coming up. I've just lived that in my subconscious mind as though it really happened. This is why it's important to not watch their entertainment media. It is control over your mind, the most important part of it, the one that governs 95% of your thinking, feeling, doing every single day, the subconscious mind. I think one of the premier ways to protect white children is not let them watch anything from any anti-white media, nothing. Because everything ends up being received as a lived experience. No one just watched that little white boy, as much as we love little white boys in this community, show up and say that to these little girls and think, yeah, what a great kid.
Fuck you.
So then you see, here goes the total fantasy, but also the instigation of violence against white people. So the little girl says F you in response. That's supposed to elicit a laugh from the audience of this, because she doesn't look like she would say something like that. She looks really innocent and sweet. And then here she says F you. And she suddenly has this power to appeal to the vanity of females. We see this all the time in anti-whiteism. This appeal to vanity all the time. And all of a sudden, she has this ability to beat up a much larger white male child. Pow! She hits him in the face. And the punch in the face is accompanied by the comedy. So not only does the kid here, does the filmmaker, the video maker, teach you to physically assault whites in response to opinions, in response to a slur, physically assault them, but associates it with comedy. Punch him in the face. Gets worse. He staggers away, and look at this. The little white boy is severely injured by the superior strength of the little Asian girl, and he runs off. And you see this all the time in anti-white media, all media, is the white villain is this dominating, rude, crass, bumptious, uneducated, in most cases, sometimes wildly overeducated, and especially demonic because of it. And when they have the upper hand, or they are striving for the upper hand, they are wicked and cruel to the weak and the innocent. But the moment they get challenged, they show their true inner cowardice. This is a critical theme that runs through anti-white media. And so the white little boy, the ruffian, the monster, the herder of feelings, is put in his place by a physically superior little Asian girl who punches him in the face. And now, since he's had this wake-up call, his nose maybe is bleeding, he's holding his face, and he's running off like the coward he is. And a little white girl joins in on the attack. Get the message, white females? Get the message, white little girls? This has been going on for decades. This perfectly encapsulates almost every single TV show, almost every single movie. It perfectly encapsulates the anti-whiteism. White male villain shows up to spoil bliss and innocence, inoffensive love and commiseration and joy, felicity. He shows up to destroy it, that felicity experienced by non-whites, and he shows up to destroy it, to exploit it. And then he is set right by not only the non-whites in the story, but the white females join in to undermine the villainous white male. This is the epitome of the indoctrination that we have endured. You want to know why? You want to know why white females, so many white females, are traitors to our men? A lifetime of this. You're a good girl. You're one of the good guys if you take down the white male. Now, if they were going to add another white male to this, I mean, this is actually a really big lesson. If they were going to add another white male to this, what would be his role in this? Well, you're right. He would be one of the good guys as well in this multiracial resistance to the white race, the white evil. You would have this multiracial good guys crew that would vie against the white evil, that the villains would be clearly white, and or even if they were cartoons, they would have all of these accoutrements, the accoutrement of Western kind and the white race. And what would the white guy be on this side in this scenario? Well, you're right. He would be a darker featured white guy. The lighter featured one would be the villain. If they're going to be, in almost all cases, if they're going to be more white guys involved or white kids involved, you're going to have your lightest featured white guy be the villain, and the white guy who joins the good guys in the multiracial resistance to the white race, he'll be darker featured for the obvious reasons. So there you have it.
Do you want to be best friends?
Now they can return to their joy. Nobody else is teaching you anything. Of course, anti-whites would see what we're showing you here, or a vague would watch what I had just outlined, and they would say, this is just a one-off. It never happens anywhere else. Here's some advertisements. Okay, this just keeps going on and 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 on. So anti-whiteism everywhere.